Hey, if you're brand new to intermittent fasting or interested in getting started on intermittent fasting, in today's video, I'm going to cover the 3 things that you need to know before getting started on your intermittent fasting journey. What's going on, everybody? It's Ryan Johnson from Intermittent Fasting with Ryan. And over the last 10 months, I've lost over 60 pounds following an intermittent fasting routine. And if you are new here and interested in sustainable weight loss tips and strategies, be sure to click subscribe now. Hey, so in today's video, I'm going to cover the things that you need to know before getting started on your intermittent fasting journey. A little bit about myself. Again, over the last 10 months, I've lost 60 pounds. But prior to that, in the last decade, I have lost the same 40 to 60 pounds more times than I can count. I have done every kind of crash diet known to man. And finally, at the start of COVID, I had put on and ballooned up to 265 pounds, the heaviest I had ever been. And I committed myself to losing the weight, but more importantly, to keeping it off forever. And in today's video, I'm going to cover the things that you need to know before getting started with an intermittent fasting routine so that you can have long-term sustainable success. These are the things that you need to know going into it, because weight loss is more than about the numbers in and of itself. It's about having the right mindset and doing the right actions so that you can not only lose the weight, but most importantly, you can keep it off. Because the goal isn't to lose weight fast, it's to lose weight forever. And be sure to stick around, because at the end of the video, I'm going to go in and answer some of your questions as it relates to intermittent fasting. So if you're joining me in the live, be sure, if you have any questions, leave those in the chat. And once I go over the 3 things you need to know before starting, I'm going to get into those questions and answers. Hey, so the very first thing you need to know when starting on an intermittent fasting journey is you've got to know that intermittent fasting, as much as you need to know what it is, you need to know what it is not. And intermittent fasting is not a magic pill. One of the things that is true of a lot of diets and ways to lose weight is just about all of them are going to work if you do this one thing. And the one thing is if you stick to it. So the thing that makes intermittent fasting different from other weight loss strategies is that it is something that is sustainable and something that, if done correctly and done slowly and with purpose, you're able to adhere to. So intermittent fasting in and of itself is not going, it's not a magic pill. You have to follow the principles of intermittent fasting, which on the bright side is it's fairly simple. It's not what you're eating. It's not how much you're eating. Intermittent fasting at its core is a period of time throughout the day. It's intermittent because it's done daily. You have those periods of fasting. So you're either eating or you're not eating. So intermittent fasting, there's no magic fairy dust that's going to help you lose the weight. But the thing that intermittent fasting does have is its simplicity and its flexibility that will allow you to stick with it. And in the long run, sticking with something and finding something that is sustainable is what's going to lead to weight loss. So the thing that you need to understand is intermittent fasting in and of itself is not a magic pill. Just because you do some fasts does not guarantee that you're going to lose weight right away. But if you start slowly and you build up habits, you can have long-term success, because the goal isn't to lose weight fast, it's to lose weight forever. So again, we're not looking to lose weight and get in shape over the next 2 months. Let's look and reset our minds to getting in shape over the next 2 years. And I know that's a little longer time frame, but if I were to tell you that you could, if I could snap my finger and you could lose all the weight that you were looking to lose, and you would lose it in the next 3 months, but 2 years from now, you had a 95% chance of gaining all that weight back. Or We could take 2 years to get you to your goal weight, but once you were there, you were going to remain there for the rest of your life. Which would you do? I know it's harder to not lose the weight right away, but again, we don't want to lose weight fast. We want to lose it forever. So understand that intermittent fasting in and of itself is not a magic pill. The second thing you need to know about intermittent fasting, in order to have long-term sustainable weight loss, is you have to start slow. It is so important um, that you don't take on too much too fast. Now, if you want to know one of the ways that I have been approaching intermittent fasting, I'll leave a card on the screen afterwards. You can go and check that out. My approach to intermittent fasting, it is I take a stair-step approach, meaning I only build one habit at a time. And once I have built that habit, then I look at adding new habits. One of the things that gets us tripped up on diet and weight loss plans is we try to take on too much too soon. I know I have been guilty of that in the past. There's a lot of things, even within intermittent fasting, there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of things that you can do. But understand, if you try to do it all on day one, you're going to reach that point of burnout very quickly, and you're going to fall away. Because remember, intermittent fasting is not a magic pill. If you fall away and you're not following it, it's not going to work. It only works if you work it. And one of the ways that you can have long-term success is take the mindset that you're going to start slow. What does that mean? Well, when you start on an intermittent fasting routine, my recommendation is the first thing that you do, and the only thing you do for the first 3 weeks, is do nothing but hit your fasting and feeding periods. So if you're going to start with the 16-8, which is one of the ones that I recommend you start with, either the 16-8 or the 14-10, all that I want you to do for the next 3 weeks is hit your fasting window. So go ahead and set your time. If you're going to do from, say, noon to 8 p.m. is when you're going to eat. At 8 p.m., I want you to stop eating and then don't start again until noon the following day. I don't want you to change your diet. I don't want you to empty your cupboards of all the bad food. I don't want you to go out and buy a completely change your cupboards over. I just want you to stick with the one habit of fasting. But what that's going to allow you to do by building habits slowly over time is you're going to use less and less willpower, and it's going to actually become a habit. When you're doing intermittent fasting at the beginning, it is going to take a little bit of willpower to make it all the way through your fasting period. But once you've made it through your fasting period, that's when I don't want you to have to worry about what you're eating. Just eat what you would normally eat. Don't change your diet. I don't want you doing a new exercise routine. I don't want you committing to tracking your water, 10 cups a day. You're doing all these things. Use all your willpower to make it through the fast. Once you've made it to that 3-week mark, well, then you can look at adding other healthy habits, and you should only do one habit at a time. So what this looks like for me personally, and what it may look like for you, is, a year from now, I want to have a lot of healthy habits. I want to eat clean. I want to exercise 4 to 5 times a week. I want to be doing intermittent fasting correctly. I want to watching my salt intake. I want to cut out my sugars. If you had to list right now all the things that you want to do as it relates to health and fitness, there's probably 8 to 9 things that we could all commit to and agree are healthy habits. But if you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing. So at first, just worry about the fast. Once that is habit and it no longer takes willpower because it's just ingrained into what you're doing, then you look at adding a second habit. What does that have to do with what do you need to know before you start fasting? Is you have to know that you need to start slow. You have to be diligent and committed to going slow if you want it to last forever. Because again, I say it all the time, we're not looking to lose weight fast. We're looking to lose weight forever. So you've got to start slow and build one habit at a time. And the final thing you need to know, before starting intermittent fasting is you need to embrace the flexibility that comes along with intermittent fasting. Now, one of the reasons that I personally love intermittent fasting is the flexibility that it allows for me to stick to it. Because again, the thing that is going to determine whether or not we have success on a diet or a weight loss plan is adherence. Excuse me. If you if you can stick to a plan, you will be successful. No matter what kind of diet is out there or lifestyle change, if you stick to it, odds are you will be successful. Now, the reason a lot of people aren't successful is because a lot of diet and exercise plans aren't that easy to stick to. All right, you feel me? Like, yes, they will all work if you do them, but a lot of them are hard to do consistently. Like low carb, for example. Low carb absolutely will help you to lose weight, but it's tough to do low carb all the time, and you end up usually snapping and breaking. It's harder to snap and break with intermittent fasting because it is so flexible. What do I mean? Well, once you've got your habit established of, it's called a 16-8 for the first few weeks. Once you've got that habit down, intermittent fasting allows you the flexibility to change your fasting times and still have success. So what that has looked like for me and what it can look like for you is on days that I get to my 16-hour mark, if I'm not hungry, I will usually extend my fast and do anywhere from 18 to 20 hours if I'm not hungry, which will allow me to eat a few more calories, calorie-dense foods, things like, my fast foods, things that are typically unhealthy. I can fit those in my shorter feeding window and still be at a calorie deficit for the day and still be able to lose weight. But if I have a day where I'm really hungry, if at the 10-hour mark, I need to break my fast early, well, no worries. You can break your fast early. You can listen to your body, and the following day, just restart your fast right back up. Unlike whether it be low carb, keto, all these things, one day off plan does not derail all of your progress. So there's a lot of flexibility built in to intermittent fasting. So again, because that flexibility is there, the most important thing is you can adhere to and you can stick with it in the long run. Because if we want to have success, we've got to stick with the plan. So again, those are the three things that you need to know before starting with intermittent fasting. If you have any questions, please leave those in the chat now, and I will get to some of your questions. As well as you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at IF with Ryan. You can look me up on Instagram. Again, I'm at IF with Ryan on Instagram. And if you're brand new to intermittent fasting or interested in getting starting with your own journey or interested in what I've been eating over the last 2 months, I've recorded everything that I've eaten. You can go in and see what my fasting times and what my diet has looked like. I'm going to leave some videos on the screen now. Be sure to check those out. And remember, willpower is a limited resource, and we're not looking to lose weight fast. We're looking to lose weight forever.